When you are.
Okay, Neil Mathiasson, you're
Nick,
with Nick Mathiasson, you're with the Observer and Guardian group, or
correct? Yeah.
You're here covering this manifestation about tax justice and so on.
Indeed.
What do your readers actually respond to you about tax havens, tax evasion?
Well, I think this issue has become. It's risen up the agenda dramatically. It's risen in prominence, and mainly I think it's because the average people feel that their tax burden is increasing and are seeing this huge chasm of inequality between the very rich and the very poor, which has grown over the last 15 years. And they're just asking questions, and now we're in this financial crisis where people are losing their jobs, and there is a huge amount of money in this world. They're beginning to think, well, should there not be a fairer tax system? And newspapers like mine have been very much on the bandwagon on this.
Why is this big, great lack of momentum? Why is it suddenly taking off? There's been years when it's been evident to many people, but nobody's been doing it. Any idea what's about?
Well, I think it's a gradual realisation. I think there's a number of issues that come together to make this. But I think the work of people like John Christensen and Richard Murphy of the Tax Justice Network has been a very slow boiler. But they've been very clever, I think, in forging alliances with other campaign groups like Christian Aid, War on Want, Friends of the Earth, and they've got a huge base of supporters, so that's kind of given this issue a much more, it's taken it onto another level. Then we've also seen the rise of President Obama, who's made tax justice a real issue in his campaign, and now he's looking like he's going to introduce legislation. And then also we've got the financial crisis and the whole instability of the financial banking system caused by a lack of transparency. Tax havens aren't the reason for that, but they played a very central part in it.
We're, as a small blog site, we're trying to make initial contacts with places like Anguilla, Cayman Islands, these little far-flung places, which are all going to have the same problem as Jersey.
Yeah.
If it collapses, what on earth do they do? Do you get any feedback on this?
Well, not specifically, except I guess when you look at Antigua and what's happened with Alan Stanford and how his empire has collapsed through alleged corruption, you just fear for the future of people in Antigua, and you also see a pattern whereby house prices in places where there are offshore centres, low tax jurisdictions, whatever we want to call them, has gone through the roof as financial services people come here and price ordinary people out of the community. Now, if they go, they'll take a huge proportion of the economy with them, and that will present major challenges. I mean, challenges that can be addressed, but it's going to have to be planned for.
Your newspaper sent you over for this. Generally speaking, do you have string, or is there anybody to keep you informed in what goes on in these places?
Not enough. No, it's not easy for us, so maybe we should develop more contacts. It's probably a weak spot. I mean, I know of people in Caymans. I've managed to develop some contacts in Jersey just through this visit, but I hadn't really had them before. But as you mentioned, it's a very good point. I think we should be making more of an effort to kind of develop contacts on the ground so we can soak up.
Perhaps look at the blog sites a bit more.
Absolutely. No, indeed. I'm happy to have received your information.
Okay, most grateful. Nice talking to you.
Very good.
Thanks very much indeed.
Cheers. All right.